I think so sometimes. When troubles come, sometimes God, for a good reason, God allows them to come.
God is saving us through such.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
My story seems to be very long. I don't know if it's...
My story.
My story.
My story is a place of hope and healing for all people, men, women, veterans, young adults, teenagers, and even children. Everyone, regardless of their social status or sexual orientation. It is a place of motivation and inspiration. My story will talk about real life situations and real life stories because no one is immune to stress, depression, anxiety, and other mental health problems, and our stories resonate. My name is Grace Ngere, Suicide Awareness and Prevention Advocate. Okay, welcome back, our viewer. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your support for my story. We ask you to remain with us as Miss Rebecca continues with her story.
So after high school, and meeting this man, my father thought I was very young. And my father said that he would have wanted me to go to college. So he told this man, you'll not get my daughter because she's still very young and I want to take her to college. I want her to become a teacher. My father really wanted me to become a teacher. So the man promised and said that I'll take her to college myself.
Okay.
So he had an obligation. So when I was married and I had 2 children, my firstborn and second, he took me to college.
Okay. At least
the teachers,
he kept his promise. That's good.
He kept his promise because my father kept reminding him. So, and that was a good thing he did. So he remained with the children, and I went to college for 2 years, and I became a teacher. And then when I became a teacher, through thick and thin, at this time, I had really calmed down. Because my mother had kept telling me I'm bad, and I knew I was bad, but I really longed to be good. I wanted to be that good mother. I wanted to be that good wife. I wanted to be good to the society, to the community. I wanted to be good in church. I was so tired of being bad. So you can imagine the effort I put. So you'd spit at me and I would not say anything. I became now the opposite. Now my husband took advantage.
Oh man.
He was hostile, and I remember one time I went to the police, and the policeman told him, "Hey, you, don't beat this woman. She's a woman of respect. She's respected everywhere. Here, she's known and she's respected." At that time, I was known because I had started a school, and the school was doing very well, and I liked class, so I had put some class in my school.
And I remember.
So it became a very popular school and very famous. And I even while nobody had started swimming pools, I even constructed swimming pools. This is to shorten the story.
Even though you're shortening it though. So how you started your story, it looks like your life was very on the lower side, in terms of even like money wise and all. And now you got married. How are you able to start this school? Or is it because you're a teacher, you started working, did you save to start the school? And then also you say when you got this guy, it was not what you were expecting. So how did this money come in short?
To start a school.
Yes.
Good. So one, I have become a teacher. I had a mentor. I had a friend.
Yes.
She was the owner of the Green Garden School, Mrs. Keyoro. She was my good friend.
Yeah.
And she kept asking me, what are you doing? Start a school.
Yeah.
At that time, she had Green Garden School. Start a school. What are you doing? And I really admired her.
Yes.
Okay. My husband, the man who married me, wasn't a very poor guy.
Okay.
At least he could afford a few things.
Yeah.
And when I started teaching, I also kept cows. The cows I really hated.
Yeah, now you
They
have your
came
own.
back. But now I wasn't grazing them
Yes.
because there was zero grazing. They were
Yes.
on zero grazing.
Yeah.
So out of all this, and then I was very hardworking. And he also supported.
Yeah.
He also supported. So when I told him that I wanted to start a school, he supported.
Yeah.
He supported to some extent.
Yeah.
Because I even remember the first salary. It was him who would pay the teacher.
Okay.
The teacher. I started with one teacher, and because I was a teacher, I was also teaching.
Yes.
At that time,
Yeah.
I had left the public school,
Yeah.
teaching public schools. I had joined a church school,
Okay.
and we were paid like 4 times
Oh.
what we were getting in the public schools.
Yeah,
So I had a
okay.
little money.
More money. Okay.
But then things didn't work very well. And one thing I really didn't want is to see somebody oppressing others.
Yes.
So the head teacher was quite oppressive. So I stood by some teachers, and I stood viciously. I spoke for them, and and you remember that a little element
that character is still there in you.
It's still there.
Only you are suppressing it.
I'm
because you want
suppressing
to be a
it.
good person.
Yeah, because I want to be a good person. Yeah. And so therefore I never wanted to see somebody oppressing the others. So I stood by them.
Yeah.
And at some point I was fired. When I was fired, I tried all things.
Yeah.
I went to the market.
Yeah.
I started buying eggs
Wow.
and selling them.
Wow. You have been a jack of all trades.
Jack
and I
of all
hope master
trades.
of all of them.
So here I am. I have some cows because even when I was teaching,
Yeah.
I still had cows.
Yeah.
I never liked the cows because through one of the things that my husband then took advantage of was the cows. Using the cows. You'd tell me that the workers are not clean enough, and so therefore they would not produce clean milk. So I was made to milk.
Now you're going back to where you were.
I'm going back to
Mentally,
where,
like you're remembering.
yeah,
What?
and until later we were able to buy the milking machine.
Yeah.
Although we never even used it.
Yeah.
The cows, after he retired and he wanted to take over the cows.
Yeah.
When he took over the cows, which was good for me,
Yeah.
all the cows died.
What? Oh my.
It's funny.
Yeah.
The cows died one after another.
What?
They would drop. There were these beautiful cows.
Yeah.
So they all were dropping dead. And after some time he didn't have the cows, but here I am. I have started a school.
Yeah. And it's
So
driving.
yeah, and it started thriving.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, God just blessed me.
Wow. I'm so happy for that part. of
God
your life
blessed
because
my
of-
hands
Yes.
so much.
Yeah, you deserved it. Yeah.
I had in the process of keeping the cows, we had bought land. I had taken a loan,
Yeah.
and my husband had
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and so we put together. We bought some land in Nazareth Hospital, around there,
Yeah.
at a place called Kimoroli.
Oh. I know.
So we bought land there, and when we bought the land, I planted napier grass.
Oh.
And then I had a pickup,
Yeah.
a truck.
Yes.
So I would go every Sunday and buy and get the napier grass
Yeah.
and bring it home.
Okay.
But the work of milking
Yeah.
was me.
Yeah.
Huh? And sometimes I would milk 5 cows.
What?
That was very tedious before I go to school.
What?
So when he said that he wanted to own the cows, I was very happy.
Yeah.
So I let go. But unfortunately, they didn't continue.
Survive, yeah.
They didn't survive. So then the school became the talk of the village. You know, it was a good school. We had buses and all that.
And it was somewhere just everybody could see it on the road.
And it was on the road. Everybody could see it.
Yeah, I didn't even know you then, but I know the school.
Oh. And my mate did not augur well with that. He saw like the glory is on me. So he told me he wants the school.
Oh my God. Hold it right there because this one is getting interesting. So he wanted the school. After all your hard work.
He wanted the school.
Yeah. Okay, now the cows are gone. So where are you going to go if he takes even the school?
He's taken the cows. The cow, whatever is not working.
Yeah.
Here is the school.
Yeah.
And it's doing so well.
Yeah.
And the name of the wife is up there. And then at this time, I was so fond of children.
Yeah.
I love children.
Yeah.
And even when I was teaching, my students always, my pupils always liked me.
Yeah.
Because they always said that I'm a good teacher.
Yeah.
That is all what they always say.
Mm-hmm.
The children that I had taught in the public school, they were now married and they had children. Oh, they supported me. They would bring their children. They would say, I'm taking my children to Mrs. Karaoke. I'm doing oh my goodness. And that is how the school, you know, grew to the level it was.
Yeah.
So now my husband after constructing the swimming pools in the school, because we had mother and baby, we used to call them mother and baby. Mother pool and baby pool.
Okay.
The baby pool was for the little ones,
Okay.
It was for the little ones, or the beginners. And then the other one, the main one, was for the other bigger children.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, the school was nice. You would admire what was going on.
Yeah.
So now he comes and he says, now I'm going to run the school. I'm the one to run the school. And he created real chaos.
Yeah.
He would call the parents and talk to the parents and tell all manner of lies. He would tell them that the school, he would even leave the school and talk about now our private life.
Why?
You see?
Yeah.
So there was war. There were people who were on my side. There were people who were on his side. And parents, of course, now the school became not really conducive for children.
Yeah, you know when you put doubts anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So parents started pulling out their children. But he made sure that I live. So at home it was war. In school, he would even fight in school.
Wow. So you had to leave the school?
I had to leave
for
the
him?
school. For him. My children were affected because of the fight, because of the, oh my goodness. One of my daughters, my second born, was teaching in the same school. Here we are fighting left and right. My children were affected. So eventually we had to part ways.
Yeah.
He became very hostile. He would hit me with anything. He would do all. He became very violent.
Yeah.
So when now things could not continue like that. I moved out.
Yeah.
Still, I was trying to be in school, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Still, it didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work at all. And then I didn't have money even to rent a house.
Yeah. Because he took everything now.
He took everything. I left home with nothing. I had bought a new bus. He said, and it was on a loan.
Yeah.
I was almost finishing the loan. I remember I only had 400,000 to clear the loan for that bus. So he said he does not want it. So I would not continue. The loan was in my name. I would not continue with it, with the bus, facilitating that loan. So they came and he stopped paying for the bus. So one lady who was, these people who sell things, that
like if you have a loan
and you fail to,
there's a name I can't remember.
So the bank came and took the loan, the bus, and they kept it away because he refused to pay. And now this loan is on my head, and I have no money.
Wow.
And it was only 400,000, and it was a new bus. But what he wanted, what he planned, was that this bus goes for auction, and then he goes behind my back and buys the bus, takes the bus, so that it is out of my name. So this lady, fortunately, the auctioneer was a lady. She said, I want to see this lady before I sell this bus. So she called me, and I went. She was given my name by the bank. It was Barclays Bank. So I went to her. She was a very nice lady. And ladies, please help other ladies when they're in problems, because a lady helped me. So this lady told me, asked me, why are you not paying for this bus? And it is only very little that is remaining. And I told her all my woes. Oh, and she sympathized with me, and she told me, okay, do this. She gave me an idea, do this. Go to the bank, tell them you want to sell that bus yourself. That is what I did. So I went to the bank, and I told them I want to sell the bus myself. So the bank agreed, and they gave me an access to it. So I would go there and see it. I would send people to go and see the bus. So I went around looking for a buyer. Until one time I found somebody who was really interested. It was a beautiful bus. And we negotiated. And he agreed to buy the bus at 800,000 shillings.
That was good.
So I sold the bus at that amount, and I went, cleared the loan, the balance, and I remained with 400. I had nothing. I had nothing. At that time, the school was going down. He was not paying the teachers. He was not paying the workers. He was not paying anybody. In 2004,
why? Is there a reason why?
Just being, reckless. What else will I do? You don't care. I don't care.
Welcome right back. So, Mom, you were where you now sold the bus. You got a profit of 400, which was really good. What happened?
Oh, no, I was a rich girl. At that,
Yes.
I thought, okay, I left home without any money. I left with one child in school, my last born. He's doing aviation now.
Oh, wow. Congrats to him.
So I left with him. I didn't have money. My children also were not stable. So it was problems. One friend of mine, the owner of Chantilly School, was a good friend of mine. So she told me, no, bring the boy. I'll do the educate. I'll educate the boy. So my boy went there. I wasn't paying anything. She really helped me. Because at that time my son was in class 7. So he did class 7 and class 8. He completed. Now for free. For free.
There are some good friends.
Oh, Wamboi Chantilly. She was a good friend. She did that for my son. And then my daughter was also teaching in my school, my second born. And now here she is. She has no job because both of us now have been pulled out. We have been thrown out.
Yeah.
Because I even remember that he had asked, he employed a secretary, a gentleman. And one time he told the gentleman, go and beat Martha. Martha had just come from an operation.
Yeah.
Because she had had a problem.
Yeah.
And in a month's time, the father had sent a man to go and beat her, just to embarrass her before the teachers. That is how chaotic it was.
Wow.
Just because
his own child?
Just because
Yeah.
the child was on my side. I mean,
Yeah.
she supported what I was doing.
Yeah.
She'd
Yeah.
go and tell the father, Dad, now what is this you're doing? Eh? You're destroying the school. Just that. He sent that boy.
Wow.
A strong boy, tall boy.
Yeah.
And he went and, first of all, he kicked my daughter on the stomach. Okay? Grace, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Eh? He was beating everyone, even the drivers, the people, the janitors. He was literally hitting everyone. I remember, okay, before now, I was on the bus, but let me go back a little.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in the office, in my office.
Yeah.
He had gone and changed the office and changed the secretary. I didn't
Yeah.
want to fight.
Yeah.
So I decided, let me remain
Yeah.
in my old office. So as I was seated there, I remember he came. He came with a screwdriver. And he came and told me that since I have refused, with the school,
Yeah.
then he'll get me out and I'll never come back. And then he confronted me.
Yeah.
When he confronted me, I was at the table on my desk. I had stood up to read a timetable. So now when he comes in and I can see how hostile he was,
Yeah.
I went on the table and sat on the table.
Yeah.
And because I thought he would come and charge me, he would come and start hitting me,
Yeah.
I sat on the table and started now keeping him off with my feet.
Yeah.
Kicking those little kicks.
Yeah.
So he came, held my legs, and pulled me off the desk. So I landed down on my back. And this is school.
Yeah.
Then a janitor who was cleaning outside there
Yeah.
heard the commotion, and she heard also my scream.
Yeah.
But the classes were upstairs. They could not hear, my screams.
Yeah.
So the janitor, because they feared him so much, he ran to the secretary. The school secretary is the only one who could go near him when he
Yeah.
was like that.
Yeah.
So the school secretary came down. But before she came down, she went, my daughter was in class 7 teaching. She ran to Martha, to my daughter.
Yeah.
My goodness, your dad is killing your mom. And this is school. Your dad is killing your mom in the office, in her office.
Yeah.
So they both came down running.
Yeah.
And the secretary is the only one who managed to hold him. And she asked him, Mr. Kariuki, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to kill Mrs. Kariuki. So he took, when I was down there, there was a vase. There was a vase from soapstone. You know how heavy soapstones are.
Yeah.
It was long. It was something long like this, but thinner than this.
Yeah.
So he removed the flowers and he hit me on my back. And I started bleeding.
What?
So I had blood on my dress behind there,
Yeah.
And at that time, there's a parent who had come to see me.
Yeah.
A parent who was very supportive to the school, and she knew what was going on. And she was a parent. She had come with her husband.
Yeah.
So they came. They said they wanted to see Mrs. Kariuki. But do you know they had to hide me in my office because I was bloody. She waited and waited and waited until she left.
Yeah.
When she left, I went to where the pools were. My nephew is the one who was running he was the instructor in the pools.
Yeah.
So he saw me and he didn't know he saw me crying.
Yeah.
I was at the pools.
Yeah.
So he saw me crying. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He could not walk forward. He just stood there.
Yeah.
Grace, I sat there on a stool at the pools.
Yes.
I cried my head out. I cried and cried and cried. One time I would go to school, then he comes and locks me in. So I would not leave the school. One time it was the policeman who came to
open for you.
At that time I had left home. We couldn't, it was bad. It was bad. My children were fearing for my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was also fearing for my life, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know how to run. Huh? Because I had been through in that abuse all throughout my marriage.
Yeah.
The first time
Did you ever maybe one time think it's normal, it's okay, this is it's supposed to be happening to me?
Yeah. Well, I thought I'm a woman and
Women nyamazia vitu. We're supposed to not say anything.
Yeah. The virtuous women were going through that, and they were. And remember again, if I left, where would I have gone to? Here is my mother. She believes I'm bad. She had even told me that, I know, when you get married, you'll not stay.
So you couldn't go to prove her right?
Because so every time I remembered those words, and I would think I'm the bad one.
Yeah.
I'm the bad one. And again, I was still in that situation where I didn't want to lose people. So I stayed with him. I stayed in that situation for 32 years.
32. In that situation?
In that situation. I left home after 32 years of marriage. That's when I left home. And even when I left, it was like leaving and going back. I wasn't really decided.
Yeah.
It was a friend of mine and my daughter. I saw my daughter. One time I wanted to go back. But then my daughter cried so much. And I thought, oh, she's cried so much. I didn't want her to continue crying.
Yeah.
So, because I had told her I'm going back home.
Yeah.
So when I saw her crying like that, and then my friend stopped talking to me. Because she really helped me.
You're still staying
get
there.
To my And at that time when he broke my skull, I had found refuge at my friends. Come on. At my friends.
Wow.
My friend's home.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have money, my friend Susan, she went and rented a house. She paid for 2 months.
Oh my God.
The deposit and 2 months. I stayed there.
God bless you. We know who you are. God bless you. She was my boss.
Oh, she was your boss. Very lovely lady.
Yeah, she is.
Beautiful lady.
Oh my God.
She was my best friend. She supported me in so many ways. Let me just mention her name, Susan.
Yes.
Susan, you supported me, and thank you very much. God bless you. So when I...
But I'm thinking before you go on, because that situation right there, so many women go through that. A lot of women. And they don't know what to do. And you have had your story, we know why you're staying. But now, this time and age, what would you tell this woman here, watching and wondering, am I supposed to be going through this? I deserve it. I deserve to go through this. I deserve to go through the beating. I deserve my things to be taken away from me. You know, what would you tell them, even before you continue the story?
Generally, why we don't leave is that we think we'll not be able to survive out there.
Yeah.
Another thing that kept me there was my children. I had the notion that if I leave, my children, people will be pointing at my children and calling them and saying that, you see those girls, the mother divorced with the father.
Yet
To me,
these
that
children
was
are
a
crying.
shame. Yeah.
Yet the child is crying when they hear you're going back.
Oh yeah, the children are crying here. They are being affected so badly. They fear for their mother. They would not even. Sometimes they would not even eat, knowing that we are sharing the same room. With him. They would think I would not come out alive in the morning, and here I am. I am afraid that people will call them a divorcee's children. So I would ask, who will marry my daughters? That was the question I used to ask. Who will love my daughters? Because in Africa, the woman is the bad one. Is always to blame.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So I have to be here for my children.
Yes.
And then another thing is okay, my mother's voice. My mother's voice. You're bad. And this man was this kind of man that you'd trust. He spoke softly. He would call you Grace Vito. He spoke. I would say he had two personalities. He was such a humble man outside.
Yeah.
But inside the house, he was totally a different person. He would hit me anytime without even me expecting it. I think he was also afraid. Because when I'm not expecting it, he would hit me. Like, for example, one day, I brought tea, I brought everything, and as he was continuing, as he continued taking the tea, I don't know what. He said something and you do not agree with it, you differ. That would be trouble. So this is what happened. And then I would know when he snapped, because he used to snap. So I knew he has snapped. So I started literally running away from him. He took the thermos full of tea, and he threw it at me. It burst like a bomb. That sound brought, the children ran. I ran. In fact, do you know, I ran and went and hid under the table, because the dining room was in another room. I went under the dining room, the dining table, and I was quiet there. He was howling all over. He was, like screaming, to scare me even more. It was chaotic. Oh my goodness. And so therefore now I thought, maybe now how can where will I go? And yet most of the finances were coming through me, because the
Even
school,
through all these things.
and still I would think I will not survive. How will I survive? He would embarrass me before his friends. He would. One time I was going to see my daughter in school. My daughter was in a boarding school. So he didn't want to go.
Can you hold right there?
He shouted at me. So, and then he thought, no, he wasn't satisfied. He came and hit me.
In the bus or
bus station.
Oh my God.
He started kicking me, hitting me, nini, what.